G'day everyone, artist Wayne here with a little DR650 adventure. Recently, one very hot Monday, I went riding with two friends of mine. Cathryn on her little Yamaha 250 and Sam who was riding his mighty DR650. But as you can see, at the moment he's riding Cathryn's Yamaha. What a gentleman. Sam was putting his life on the line, taking Cathryn's Yamaha down what we've now nicknamed the Ramp of Death. It's certainly not as dramatic as it sounds, although there are risks involved, like going over the edge if you're not careful. Lucky for Sam there was a tree there. This is certainly a great fun little trail that offers something different. You start by riding down a big split in the rock, which you come to after riding some nice trails in the Wyong end of the Watagans. Once you squeeze through that, it's a bit of an obstacle course around some large rocks, and you need to be a little careful of the drop off on both sides of this beautiful rocky outcrop. Then it begins to get steeper as you make your way to the Ramp of Death. And after we all survived that fun section, it was time for Cathryn to play a little game called Hide the Yamaha. But no matter how hard she tried, I could always find it to pull it out of the bush. In fact, after a while, she didn't even bother trying to hide it. She just dropped it wherever. And talking about dropping bikes, Sam was riding mine when he dropped it. He even did a cute little commando roll all the way down that hill. And he just happened to break my left rear blinker. I can't tell you how many times it's been broken. Nothing a couple of twig splints and some duct tape can't fix. She should be good for another 10,000 kilometres. Anyway, after lunch it was time to have some single trail fun, and Cathryn was improving her sand riding. It was another terrific day of adventure riding with great friends. That was Monday. My following ride was going to be the coming Sunday. And I was riding with Steve, his big 990 KTM, along with Russell on his Husky 700, Roger on a DR650, and Clint, who can be seen here giving his DR a little rest. And let's not forget Theo on a DR, who's wondering why Steve is off his bike. Well, it's because Steve was taking us all down some steep, gnarly, snotty hill. And when we got to the bottom, we found that it was a dead end, much to Clint's horror. You see, poor Clint has a spinal injury after being hit by a car whilst riding his motorcycle, so this is something that he didn't need. And the poor bloke was fatiguing fast. Clint, you can blame Steve for all of this. Anyway, Russell and I helped get Clint's bike up the hill where we could have a bit of a breather, and then we made our way back out onto the main trail of the Watagans. It was now time to make our way over to the Ramp of Death. We were all keen to see if Steve's big fat pumpkin would fit. I've got to hand it to Steve. He'll take his big KTM anywhere and he'll try anything. And as we all neared the Ramp of Death, you could see the apprehension in Theo's face. His concentration had reached a new level. His heart rate was up. His palms were sweaty and his sphincter was tight. Would Theo, along with all of us, survive the ramp of death? Come on, I'm not one to be a drama queen. Of course we all did. And once we were all down the ramp, it was time to hit new trails for some muddy fun. We were like 5 ratbag kids skipping school, racing through the bush and having fun. And for those that are good at maths and wondering, didn't you start off with 6 riders? Well, we told Clint to take it easy after Steve tried to kill him on that hill, and we would meet him for lunch. Also, in the morning when we all met up before our ride, Theo, who you can see in front of me, told me his tyres were no good in the mud and that he wanted to steer clear of it. My reply was there'd been no rain through the week, so it should be bone dry. Well, as you can see, it was far from that, but when we hit the mud, Theo was like a dog let off the chain. Oh, and check out Steve's impression of a submarine. You know when Steve's behind you when you feel the wave hit your rear tyre. We were all artists painting our bikes with mud, and I must say they looked fantastic. After that we met up with Clint for lunch at Cathryn, and then we rode back into the Watagans for some single trail fun. We then said goodbye to Theo and Russell, who were heading back to Sydney, and Steve, Clint, Roger and I rode well into the afternoon for a lot more single trail action. In fact, we found a lot more new single trails that we will need to explore at a later date. It had been another epic day of adventure riding, so we now need to regroup in the near future and hit the Watagans for an all-day single trail safari. I can't wait. I'm artist Wayne Dowsett, and thanks for watching everyone.